They said it would never happen. That was the outraged whisper echoing through countless gaming communities when Grand Theft Auto Online suddenly decided to open its doors to anyone on PlayStation without requiring the usual subscription. For gamers used to restrictions and paywalls, it felt like discovering a hidden vault, jam-packed with gold bars. How did this come about? And why does Rockstar Games, famous for its tight handle on online services, appear ready to bend its own rules? Today we will dig into all the crucial details, from the underlying drama that triggered these decisions to the cunning business moves behind the latest GTA Online update. We are also going to explore the massive yearning for the next step in this blockbuster franchise, Grand Theft Auto 6, and the surprising ways Red Dead Online was sacrificed along the way. In short, if you've ever wondered what fresh secrets lurk behind the neon lights of Los Santos, or if you've been speculating about Rockstar's next big leap, buckle up. The answers might just change how you see Grand Theft Auto Online forever. Now, you might be asking, is this move by Rockstar Games actually the good news it seems to be? Or is it yet another sly marketing trick designed to boost sales of shark cards? Today we are going deep into the heart of the matter. What it means for loyal fans that PlayStation's usual paywall is temporarily coming down, how exactly Rockstar Games juggles massive community demands when updating Grand Theft Auto Online, and why the specter of Grand Theft Auto 6 influences every single decision made in the boardroom. We will unearth the cold facts and the heated rumors swirling around this franchise. In this episode, we are going to tackle 3 burning questions. First, how did Grand Theft Auto Online manage to outlive Red Dead Online to such a blunt extent? And why did Rockstar Games decide to pull resources from its Wild Western sibling so definitively? Second, what's the real scoop behind Rockstar's periodic generosity toward those on PlayStation? And how does it tie into the unveiling of brand new businesses to buy and operate inside the game? Finally, we will examine the subtle teasers pointing to one of the most requested features in Grand Theft Auto Online's history: luxurious mansions that might soon become an integral corner of your criminal empire. By the end of this breakdown, you will have the full story behind these chess moves, a peek at the future of Rockstar's unstoppable juggernaut, and a sense of where you, the faithful gamer, fit into this grand picture. All right, let us dive right into the heart of the matter. It is no secret that Rockstar Games has often been described as merciless in its business approaches. One shining example is the abrupt shift of support away from Red Dead Online. Not so long ago, that game showed promising potential to become a second flagship service under Rockstar's umbrella. Packed with gritty authenticity, enthralling story arcs, and an immersive open world, it drew in a large slice of players. Yet something changed behind the scenes. Insiders point to a moment when Rockstar Games took a step back, weighed the success of Grand Theft Auto Online against that of Red Dead Online, and found the latter wanting. Ongoing expansions slowed to a trickle, and players watched as their beloved cowboy paradise was left to wither on the vine. But here's the kicker. Red Dead Online did not simply vanish because Rockstar Games lost interest. Rather, it became increasingly clear that the studio was reallocating resources somewhere else. At first, some believed that new expansions were being cooked up in silence. But eventually, the rumor mill began churning out a different story. Rockstar Games was funneling talent into the upcoming Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, that might cause a collective gasp from the community, but it is far from a shocker. The Grand Theft Auto series has always been the top dog for Rockstar. Critical acclaim, lavish profits, and enduring player interest all revolve around that brand. And so it was perhaps inevitable that Red Dead Online would be overshadowed. Yet, the real question is, why Grand Theft Auto Online itself was allowed to thrive so vigorously during this period of resource shifting? Why not dial back on expansions, especially with a brand new flagship in production? The short answer: money. Rockstar's financial statements do not lie. Endless streams of currency from shark card sales, event tie-ins, and expansions keep rolling in. And Grand Theft Auto Online's continued popularity suggests that a massive subset of gamers just cannot get enough of Los Santos. For Rockstar, there is no logical financial reason to wind it down, even with the next iteration on the horizon. Now, on to the highlight of today's revelations: the temporary removal of the PlayStation Plus restriction. Typically, you need a special subscription to dive into online games on that platform, and Grand Theft Auto Online is no exception. But Rockstar Games decided to do something different, by granting free access for 2 weeks to players on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Rumor has it that this window is designed not as an act of pure kindness, but as a strategic move. Releasing a new update is always a golden moment to spike interest. By letting new or returning players hop in for zero additional cost, Rockstar can convert fresh faces into longtime participants. If you like blasting through a heist or buying your illicit businesses, you are more likely to stick around, buy expansions, or even splurge a bit on microtransactions. Now, just imagine you are a casual player who rarely invests in subscription services. Suddenly, you see your friends raving about the brand new expansions in Grand Theft Auto Online, featuring intriguing new enterprises like cannabis dispensaries and a legit or shady car wash. You want in, of course, and for 2 glorious weeks, you can join the mayhem without a subscription. That is a fan's dream scenario come true, and a cunning marketing play from Rockstar Games. Because once the 2-week gateway closes, you might be so hooked that you will not hesitate to pay that monthly subscription to stay in the action full time. Let's face it, the Rockstar folks are nothing if not strategic. Interestingly, the highlight of this most recent update is not just the chance to own a squeaky clean car wash. As many fans have discovered, you can use these fronts as legitimate businesses or as a means to further your not-so-legal adventures. Laundering money, hiding contraband, exploiting them to amplify your street cred. The game thrives on these moral ambiguities. It's the same brand of cunning that made the original single-player story of Grand Theft Auto 5 so enthralling. But in this particular version, you call the shots. You decide whether that car wash remains squeaky clean or if it transforms into the perfect front for your expanding empire of crime. Reminiscent of classic mob stories from decades past, these new expansions let you forge your domain, forging alliances or rivalries along the way. On the surface, you have these simple everyday businesses. Underneath, you have the potential for an entire criminal network branching out across Los Santos. That tension between the respectable facade and the shadowy underworld is precisely what keeps so many players glued to the screen. If you ever grow weary of these new setups, keep in mind Rockstar's broader strategy. Twice a year, the developer drops 2 major expansions to keep the buzz alive. Whether it is brand new heists, themed events, or expansions that enhance your money-making ventures, you can almost set your watch by them. These expansions come with robust marketing campaigns, trailers, screenshots, and sizzling teasers that whip the community into a frenzy. You can find yourself in a hush-hush dogfight in some clandestine facility 1 month, only to transition to opening your very own weed-smoking lounge with a fancy neon sign the next. That sheer range of experiences is part of Grand Theft Auto Online's unique appeal. Now, let us pause momentarily on a very important note. If you are enjoying the story so far, and if you have got that unstoppable thrill swirling in your mind imagining the new expansions, why not give this discussion a like? It is a small gesture, but it helps ensure we can keep providing you with in-depth explorations of this unpredictable digital underworld. Of course, behind every new wave of expansions in Grand Theft Auto Online lies the carefully orchestrated marketing approach. Rockstar regularly times these updates with real-world events or holiday seasons, ensuring a maximum wave of interest. The fact that the free play deal on PlayStation arrived right as the new expansions rolled out is no coincidence. It is a proven strategy. Get the hype going about fresh content, make it easy for curious players to jump aboard, and watch the existing fanbase swell further. Yet, as you might suspect, the looming presence of Grand Theft Auto 6 casts a large shadow over all these developments. Fans are impatient. They want to know, when does the official reveal happen? Will it come out in 2024 or sooner? Will I finally get to transfer all my in-game fortunes to the new title? The truth is, Rockstar remains as tight-lipped as ever. But the decision to keep Grand Theft Auto Online so heavily updated signals that the next official installment might still be on the horizon rather than right around the corner. Why would Rockstar risk overshadowing its next mega hit by continuing to lavish attention on Grand Theft Auto Online? The cynic's answer? It is simply too lucrative to abandon. The more diplomatic answer? Continuing expansions keep fans engaged and happy, so that when Grand Theft Auto 6 does finally arrive, the brand's popularity has never been higher. In a sense, it is a balancing act. Rockstar wants to maintain a lively community while carefully orchestrating hype for the new iteration. That said, Speculation about how Grand Theft Auto 6 might reshape the online experience is practically unstoppable. Gossiping about potential settings, rumor-laced claims about new characters, or talk of an enhanced social experience has become a pastime in itself. Observers suspect that the upcoming game will incorporate many of Grand Theft Auto Online's success stories: expansive heists, property management, dynamic events, while introducing a wave of improved mechanics. For now, though, we only have cryptic leaks and cryptic job postings to keep us guessing. Switching gears, let's address something that popped onto the horizon quite recently: the rumored chance to purchase luxurious mansions. This rumor stems from small lines of code discovered by dedicated data miners who make it their mission to pore over every newly released update in search of clues. So far, folks have turned up references to large properties with multiple interior customization options and communal areas for players to hang out. The fact that Rockstar gave a slight nod to this rumor in the newest announcement further fueled the fire. Mansions, of course, are something fans have been asking for years. Sure, you can buy fancy apartments, high-end condos, or a nice penthouse in Grand Theft Auto Online already. But a bona fide mansion, complete with private theaters, personal gyms, lavish pools, and maybe even hidden panic rooms, would take aspirational living to another level. After all, there is something undeniably appealing about rolling up to your massive gated estate after a particularly rigorous street racing session or a nerve-wracking drug run under the nose of local law enforcement. It cements your status as the ultimate big shot in Los Santos. What piques the interest further is Rockstar's mention of a December release window. Historically, the developer loves to drop a big content bomb on players in December, presumably to capitalize on holiday sales and people having extra free time, not to mention the year's end hype. If we follow the pattern, there is every reason to believe that the next major expansion, possibly featuring those rumored mansions, will arrive in December of this year. That is more than enough to keep people on the edge of their seats. We should also talk about the impact these big expansions and shock announcements have on the in-game economy. Every time Rockstar introduces a new property or business, the community collectively scrambles to accumulate the funds. Prices for older properties or services might temporarily drop, or new players focusing on the best ways to earn money fast could flood the community pages. The idea of allowing you to launder money through your newly acquired car wash or cannabis enterprise only intensifies that gold rush atmosphere, and it is all orchestrated in a manner designed to keep you engaged and hungry for success. That is the magic of the modern online gaming world: perpetual motion, fueled by anticipation and tangible in-game rewards. But how does this all tie back to the ephemeral free access on PlayStation? Well, Rockstar wants to ensure that new players who do not have a subscription can still jump into the game, witness the spectacle of these expansions, maybe dip a toe into the online chaos, and find themselves enthralled. It might be a cunning strategy. Once players see the scale of possibility and how quickly they can progress by purchasing in-game currency or by investing time, they become more likely to remain even after the offer ends. Indeed, Rockstar's marketing geniuses have honed that technique over the years. If you happen to be a new player, do not be surprised if just as the free access period wraps up, you get a wave of promotional deals or discount codes tempting you to continue. Pause for a moment if all this discussion has you on the edge of your seat. Could it be that you need a small breather? If so, a great way to support future deep dives on Rockstar Mysteries is to subscribe to our ongoing series. Not only will you stay informed, but you will never miss a fresh update on the swirling rumors around Grand Theft Auto 6 or the next wave of surprises in the online realm. Feel free to do that, and let us venture onward. Now, let's circle back to that vacuum left by Red Dead Online. How is the community at large reacting to the knowledge that one game was effectively cast aside to bolster the other? Some fans have tried to get Save Red Dead trending in an effort to spotlight their disappointment. Meanwhile, die-hard Grand Theft Auto Online players, some of whom enjoyed dabbling in the Old West, express a sense of bittersweet relief. They appreciate that their main game continues to flourish, but they also lament the lost potential of Red Dead Online. From a broader angle, it exemplifies an uncomfortable theatrical truth in the gaming industry. Developers must opt for what yields the biggest return on investment, and that means funneling staff, budget, and creative drive into Grand Theft Auto, the perennial star of the show. Within this tension, Rockstar Games has definitely chosen its path. They bet on Grand Theft Auto Online's ability to keep raking in profits until Grand Theft Auto 6 sets the world ablaze. That is a tall order, given that Grand Theft Auto Online has been around for many years, having launched around the same time as Grand Theft Auto 5. Yet the formula still works. The Los Santos playground remains robust, jam-packed with players, each with their own ambitions, from unsuspecting novices to grizzled veterans piloting flying bikes at high altitude. The sense of unpredictability, coupled with regular expansions that keep the city fresh, has proved Rockstar's biggest weapon. We can also glean some interesting insights into Rockstar's brand strategies. Even as they appear to do less for Red Dead Online, they continue to feed new expansions to Grand Theft Auto Online. The choice to create a 2-week free access period on PlayStation is the ultimate Trojan horse for hooking new fans. Instead of feeling cornered by subscription fees, new players get to test the product. If they love the sense of speed, the comedic chaos, or the adrenaline from pulling off a robbery with friends, they simply extend their involvement. Meanwhile, older fans who have drifted away might come running back, seeing a perfect opportunity to experience the new businesses or expansions without paying more. It is a carefully orchestrated funnel. Some critics wonder how sustainable this model is in the face of an inevitable sequel. They argue that Rockstar should pivot resources immediately to Grand Theft Auto 6 for fear that dragging out support for the older platform might hamper the new game's release. However, the phenomenon of lifecycle extension in the gaming industry is well documented. Publishers try to squeeze every bit of revenue from older releases if the demand remains strong. There is no rush to cut the cord, especially if the studio sees robust returns. And that is exactly the situation with Grand Theft Auto Online, which remains the proverbial goose that lays golden eggs. Another reason Rockstar might be comfortable with continuing expansions is the synergy between multiple products. Players engaged with Grand Theft Auto Online are more likely to stay plugged into Rockstar's ecosystem, following news and updates about the company's other titles. More brand loyalty translates into bigger hype when official announcements about Grand Theft Auto 6 finally drop. The conversation then shifts from, "Why keep the old game alive?" to, "This is all building up to an epic transition." At that point, fans who have maintained or even grown their in-game fortunes may hope for direct or partial transfer of assets to the new installment, though that remains unconfirmed. Let us not ignore the fact that these expansions are often about more than just in-game mechanics. They shape community interactions as well. Online forums buzz with discussions about the best ways to exploit newly introduced businesses. Players share comedic screenshots of messing around in a car wash packed with suspicious clients, or they post tips on maximizing the new cannabis dispensary for quicker profits. Some squads band together to defend each other's shipments from rival groups, forging alliances that lead to ongoing friendships in real life. As silly as it might sound, these expansions can spark genuine social connections in the digital realm. That might be the real secret sauce that keeps folks coming back year after year. Of course, these expansions also come with new challenges, especially in the unethical corners of gameplay. Players find exploits or hacks, shady organizations cheat the system, or unscrupulous opportunists troll others who are just trying to enjoy the new features. Rockstar's vigilance in patching these vulnerabilities is usually strong, if a bit slow at times. Nevertheless, each problem eventually spurs fresh updates, meaning the cycle of content creation remains continuous. By the time we approach a rumored December release window for brand new features, like mansions, the community will be entirely re-energized, remembering why they fell in love with Grand Theft Auto Online in the first place. As we approach the conclusion of this expedition into Rockstar's cunning ways and the unstoppable success of Grand Theft Auto Online, let us piece everything together. We have seen how Red Dead Online became a sacrificial lamb on the altar of Grand Theft Auto's continued dominance. We have explored how Rockstar lures newcomers and returning players alike with that cunning free trial on PlayStation. We peeked behind the curtain at the new expansions, where you can own a weed dispensary or a car wash and use them for either squeaky clean business or shadowy underdealings. We glimpsed the possibility of swanky mansions arriving just in time for holiday excitement, giving loyal fans a chance to live out their ultimate gangster fantasies. And all the while, the ghostly promise of Grand Theft Auto 6 looms in the background, quietly feeding our curiosity. When will we finally get our official trailer? What leaps in technology, scope, and gameplay might Rockstar have in store? Will the momentum from Grand Theft Auto Online feed seamlessly into the next generation? Rockstar remains coy, keeping details under lock and key. But if their track record is any indication, once we see the official reveal, it will be nothing short of a spectacle that breaks the internet. In the meanwhile, the cunning multi-pronged marketing strategy marches on. Grand Theft Auto Online remains that massive multiplayer playground, constantly morphing to keep even longtime fans from growing bored. This is, in a sense, Rockstar's crowning achievement, the ability to captivate millions of people over many years without letting the experience grow stale. Countless players find new reasons to log in weekly, whether it is a new mission, a cool glitch to explore, or the endless spontaneity that arises in these open lobbies. That fact alone underscores why Rockstar's decision to open the gates for PlayStation owners for a couple of weeks is a stroke of genius. It is the perfect invitation. Come join us, dip your toes in, see how exhilarating our world is without paying extra. By the time the gate closes, many will likely be so enticed that they will not want to leave. After all, who wants to abandon a budding enterprise, or the chance to race across Los Santos boulevards in a newly customized sports car? So, as we head into the near future, keep a watchful eye on Rockstar's official channels. If the rumored expansions land in December of this year, it might give us a hint about where the entire Grand Theft Auto series is heading. Will it be the last major push for Grand Theft Auto Online before a gradual pivot to Grand Theft Auto 6? Or could Rockstar theoretically maintain both experiences for several more years? Speculation is fun, but the definitive answers remain locked behind corporate secrecy. Still, that does not stop the community from dissecting every rumor, every leaked snippet of code, or every half-buried reference in the official patch notes. Whatever the next step is, one thing is crystal clear. Grand Theft Auto Online stands as a phenomenon that simply refuses to fade. Players around the globe are still cooking up mischief, forging empires, and chasing the adrenaline rush that only Los Santos' bright lights and chaos can offer. And Rockstar's decision to drop the subscription barrier for PlayStation, even temporarily, is like a clarion call to all those potential new troublemakers who have been sitting on the sidelines. The message is loud and clear. Jump in now, or risk missing out on some of the wildest times you could have online. For now, we keep our eyes peeled, our console controllers ready, and our imaginations running wild. If you have stuck with us through this entire exploration, chances are you're just as hungry for more as every other Grand Theft Auto fan out there. It might be a good time to explore what the new update has in store. Get excited about your next potential venture, be it a squeaky clean car wash or a shady cannabis dispensary, and gear up for the epic expansions lurking right around that December corner. That's it for our deep dive into Rockstar's latest power moves, the unstoppable draw of Grand Theft Auto Online, and the tantalizing hints about the future. Keep your engines revving, your cunning mind sharp, and your eyes on the horizon for anything Rockstar might drop next. Until then, see you in those neon-lit streets of Los Santos, where fortunes are made, loyalties are tested, and there's always another job waiting to be done.